Alright, for this video I want to talk about my struggles with medical appointment anxiety and patient burnout. The reason that I wanted to make this video is because I would like to talk about the things that stress me out that are related to me having medical appointments to go to, and I'd like to be able to share some personal experiences with my own stress from going to the doctor. And I actually had my first psychiatry appointment yesterday, and I had a lot of stress from that, and that tired me out. And I also had to work last night, and that didn't make me feel so great either. And I have to work again today, and I'm not feeling so great today. So this video is mainly, I'd say, a way for me to organize my thoughts about this stuff and for me to be able to hopefully help out somebody with this information, because I want to be able to share what I've learned with what seems to help me with when I have medical appointments to deal with. And so there was this first main appointment I had this year. I don't remember exactly when it was, but that appointment was the first one that I had had in years. And then there was a second appointment to my main doctor that I had that was last month, but I didn't get to have my first psychiatry appointment until yesterday. Well, as far as what appointment I got to have as an adult, I don't know what kind of appointment I had as a kid that was mental health related, but I did go to some appointment as a kid. And then when I was a kid, I did not like to go to the doctor. I still don't like to go to the doctor, even though I know I need to, because I've had to deal with a lot of anxiety related to going to the doctor. A main thing that I didn't like as a kid was that I was afraid of getting vaccinations because I did not like needles, and I had unpleasant experiences with getting vaccinations and them causing me to have sore places and me just not liking the feeling of a needle being stuck inside me. And I just, even as an adult, I'm still dealing with fear related to that. And actually, that first appointment that I had to go to when I had my first main doctor's appointment this year, I actually had to do blood work, and I did not like that. That did not feel very great. It didn't hurt a whole lot at first. It just felt very weird, and it bothered me. And it actually makes me not feel so great to talk about it, but for the purposes of this video, I think it's important. And so I'm just gonna have to get through it. But as an adult, my anxiety that I have to deal with medical appointments isn't nearly as bad as when I was a kid, but still, I end up I end up having last minute bathroom trips, so to speak, which causes me to either be late or almost late to an appointment. And yesterday I was running late because many things. I had bathroom trips as a result of anxiety that got in the way, and then I had me getting lost and not knowing where to go, and then me having to practically play Frogger to get across the street because I had to walk there, and cars just kept coming from both ways, and it took me a while to get across the street, and then I learned I probably shouldn't have crossed the street in the first place and probably should have just walked in the grass instead of the sidewalk, and I probably would have gotten there a lot sooner. But I finally had gotten there. Of course, having to speak for myself in a professional situation makes me feel so nervous and just not great in general. Eventually, I got where I needed to go, and I got asked a bunch of questions. I felt like I was pretty much just a robot, just giving quick answers or just at times overthinking things, and I just did not feel like I was in much control, and I was afraid about what was going to happen with me based off the answers that I was just giving without being able to think much about it. And after being asked a bunch of questions, I didn't really feel like I accomplished much. I didn't see much of the point of even being there, and it turned out that the place that I went to was not the place I thought I was going to, because turns out it was just a referral that I had to deal with before getting to be able to be referred to the place that I actually needed to go. And so my hope is that I don't get stuck in a referral loop, and that I actually, before too much time passes, that I can get to where I need to go. And it really doesn't make me feel good that I have to wait so long to be able to get more appointments to things, and that the appointments are so short and don't make me feel like I've accomplished much. And then there's the worry about how I'm gonna get my insurance to cover all of it, or if my insurance even will cover all of it, and then feel like I'm not really being told much info, and that I just have to ask for certain important things that if I didn't know any better, I wouldn't have been able to ask for those things because they wouldn't have crossed my mind. And I'm afraid that if I don't know this information, that I feel like the medical industry should be providing. I feel like if I don't somehow know about this stuff and ask for it, that I won't get to where I need to go, and that scares me because I'm afraid that I won't be able to say what I need to say to get me in the right places. And that patient burnout part that I was talking about earlier in the video, that's what those different things that I explained about what I don't like about having to deal with medical appointments, those things I explained a little bit ago have to do with the patient burnout thing. And the patient burnout thing means that because of those reasons, I just don't really like having to deal with medical appointments. They tire me out. They cause me a lot of stress. And I wonder if it's a waste of my time. I hope that I can actually get done what I need to get done. And that medical anxiety part, or the medical appointment anxiety, has to do with those issues as well, because that anxiety is caused by those issues, but also it's caused by, well, me having to deal with anxiety in general, because me having to speak for myself, especially when it comes to a professional situation, especially when I'm not very familiar with the people that I'm having to talk to, I'm just having to deal with so much uncertainty that I just don't feel very good in those situations, nor do I have much confidence when dealing with those situations when I am really tired and stressed out. And another issue I have is masking at medical appointments, and I'm afraid that my brain making me act more normal, so to speak, is a problem, because it might make me unintentionally cover up my issues, and therefore me not getting the help I need due to my brain making me cover up some of my issues. And so that's what I was afraid of, because I'm afraid if I end up needing a diagnosis for something, that I may not get that diagnosis because the results of whatever testing might be inaccurate if my ability to mask ends up being too strong. And so another thing that stresses me out is having to switch tasks too often. Me switching tasks too often, that causes me to get tired out and frustrated. And that makes me lose a lot of energy, and I'm not entirely sure what exactly that has to do with this stuff, other than it has been something that's been occurring a lot lately that's been tiring me out and stressing me out, and that had a part to do with me just not feeling very good in general here lately, especially when I had to go to my appointment. And I don't know if this video is that organized as far as what really makes sense as far as the ordering that I explained things and how I explained it. I just know that I had in my mind how I thought I wanted to make this video, and what actually happened is different. But I still hope that I got my point across, and that I might have been able to actually help myself with talking about some things that I just needed to get off my chest, and maybe help somebody else as well. But my advice is that before you start your journey with seeking out a diagnosis with some sort of mental disorder, that you should try to do some research beforehand on your options as to different places you can go to, as far as specialists are concerned, because if you just ask your main doctor, hey, what place can you refer me to for this problem, they may not have the answer that you need. They may not be able to refer you to the place that you need to go, because they don't specialize in that specific thing you're looking for. So they may be able to narrow down your options somewhat and help point you in the right direction, But if you're not careful, you might get stuck in a referral loop where you just keep getting referred from one place to the next, not getting to go where you need to go. And so you need to do enough research to be able to narrow down your options for what you're specifically looking for. And luckily in my case, I think I might have finally narrowed down the options well enough to where I might be close to getting where I need to be to get the help that I need. And so my advice is just try to do some research, figure out which specialist you might need, do some phone calls, ask questions, try to figure out if those places are really the places that you need to go. And so, yeah, that's it for this video. Peace.